You ever watch someone try so hard to clean up their mess that they actually make it worse? That's exactly what we're seeing right now with Kody Brown. The man who once stood as the proud leader of a plural family, the so called head of the sister wives household, is now out here comparing himself to Batman. Yes, Batman. Not joking. Cody's trying to tell us he's the misunderstood hero, not the cause of the drama, not the reason the family broke apart, just a guy who loved too hard, spoke too freely, and got punished for it. But if you've watched the show, if you've followed the heartbreak, the favoritism, the silence, the emotional distance, you know this story doesn't line up. Hey friends, I'm Oliva, and welcome back to TLC's Sister Wives Secret. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. We're going to talk honestly, emotionally, and openly about what's really happening on your favorite show. And I want to hear from you too. Drop your thoughts in the comments as we go. Was Cody ever the victim? Or is this just damage control? Because what we're witnessing isn't just a family falling apart. We're watching a man try to rewrite the ending of a story he helped write. He's no longer the polygamist patriarch. He's trying to be the underdog, the emotionally wounded truth teller who was pushed aside by people who didn't understand his higher love. But the question is, do you believe it? Or is Kody Brown just playing the role of the hero after spending years as the director of the chaos? In the early seasons of Sister Wives, Kody Brown came off as this confident, quirky, slightly awkward, but well meaning dad trying to hold together something most people couldn't even imagine: 4 marriages under one roof. He sold the dream of plural love like it was a mission, a spiritual calling. He talked about unity, shared parenting, faith, family. Back then, whether you agreed with polygamy or not, you could almost understand why his wives followed him into it. Cody seemed to really believe in the lifestyle. He was smiling, energetic, bouncing between homes, kids everywhere, and always emphasizing teamwork. It looked chaotic, but somehow functional. But something started to shift, and it wasn't just in the family. Well, it was in us, the viewers. Slowly, you could feel it. Something wasn't adding up. It started with small things. The way Cody would light up when Robin entered a scene, the way he suddenly had more time, more patience, more gentleness, only when he was around her. Meanwhile, things with Mary grew tense. Christine started to look sadder, more frustrated. Janelle got quieter. The balance was gone. People started asking questions. Then came the big cracks. Christine called out the favoritism directly. She said it out loud. What so many fans had been seeing for years. Robin wasn't just a new wife. She was the wife. The emotional connection, the decisions, the holidays, everything started revolving around her. Cody's dynamic with the other women started to feel colder, less invested, and for viewers who had bought into his message of fairness, of equal love, of shared connection, it felt like a betrayal. Cody wasn't the man we thought he was in season 1. And the version he became? It didn't just change how the family saw him, it changed how we saw him too. Now let's talk about the moment that really stopped people in their tracks. Kody Brown comparing himself to Batman? Yes, he actually said it. In a recent sit-down, Cody claimed that Batman Returns was the movie that best reflected his life. He said, "If you don't die the hero, you live long enough to become the villain." That's how he sees himself. Not as the guy who failed his marriages, not as the man who emotionally pulled away from his wives and children, but as the misunderstood hero who stayed too long and got blamed for everything falling apart. It was a wild moment, because in that one line, Cody laid bare exactly how he wants to be seen now, not as the cause of the collapse, but as the victim of it. He says he's been villainized just for speaking freely, just for feeling deeply, that he's being punished for loving openly and not having a filter. In his mind, his honesty is what made him the target. He talks about his relationship with Robin like it's this sacred bond no one else could understand. A higher love, as he puts it, and claims that it's that very love that's made him the scapegoat. But that's not how the rest of the family sees it, not even close. Christine, Mary, and Janelle don't buy it. They've lived through the years of being emotionally dismissed. They've watched Cody show up for Robin while becoming more and more absent in their lives. They don't see a hero. They see a man who changed the rules halfway through the game and then blamed everyone else when it stopped working. To the viewers, Cody's not Batman. He's not a tragic figure misunderstood by the world. He's someone trying to rebrand a legacy that's been crumbling in real time. And people aren't falling for the tell-all reunion was the moment everything came to a head. If you've been watching Sister Wives from the beginning, this wasn't just another recap. This was emotional combustion. Decades of pain, silence, and buried resentment finally erupted, right in front of the cameras. And what we saw? It wasn't a family coming together. It was the final shattering of the illusion. Christine was the first to drop the emotional weight. She sat there, composed but raw, and admitted something that left a lump in everyone's throat. She said she regretted giving so much of herself to Cody. She talked about the years she spent putting his needs above her own, trying to be the wife he wanted, even when it meant losing parts of herself. She was ashamed, not just of what she endured, but of how long she stayed in a life that slowly erased her. That wasn't just a confession. That was a cry from someone who had finally broken free, but still carried the scars. Then came Janelle, direct, steady, but clearly hurt. She said it outright. Cody had changed. He treated Robin differently. He built walls with the rest of them, emotionally checked out, and then claimed it was them who pulled away. Mary echoed that. She talked about being sidelined, about being expected to act like Robin when she was never given the same affection or support. Both women made it clear this wasn't miscommunication. It was exclusion. And Cody? He doubled down. He kept calling his relationship with Robin a higher love, something special, something divine. But instead of it landing as romantic or meaningful, it felt cruel, like he was ranking their worth in front of the world. Fans didn't see a misunderstood hero that night. They saw a man so caught up in his own story, he couldn't see the pain he left behind. Now, here's where things get really complicated. Is Kody Brown actually growing? Or is he just scrambling to rewrite the ending of a story he no longer controls? Because if you've been watching Sister Wives for years, you already know. The things Cody is saying now don't match up with what we saw play out on screen. He claims he always wanted emotional balance, that he worked hard to lift all his marriages, that he tried to bring everyone to that higher love level he shares with Robin. But where was that effort when Christine was begging for connection? Where was that energy when Janelle said she felt like she had no partner left? When Mary stood by, hoping to be chosen again, and Cody literally said he had no interest in being intimate with her? The emotional labor? That was never his burden. It was always on the women. They were the ones adjusting, compromising, bending over backward to keep the family afloat while Cody withdrew. And now, instead of owning up to it, he's spinning it into some tragic hero narrative, like he was just a passionate man too honest for his own good. Let's be real. That's not honesty. That's deflection. That's carefully edited storytelling. And the biggest red flag, it's how he talks about Robin. This idea that their love is sacred, that no one else could possibly understand it. It doesn't just hurt, it erases the 25 plus years he spent with the other wives. Suddenly, they were never the one. Suddenly, they didn't measure up. That's not reflection, that's revisionism. It's hard to see this as growth when every word feels like damage control, a legacy rescue mission, not a reckoning. And honestly, viewers aren't buying the rewrite. They remember what really happened. So now, here we are, at the crossroads of memory and meaning. After years of watching this family rise and fall, of witnessing marriages form, falter, and fracture, viewers aren't just tuning in for entertainment anymore. They're here because they've felt something. They've seen pieces of themselves in Christine's heartbreak, Janelle's strength, Mary's hope, and even in Cody's confusion. But what the audience needs most right now is honesty, not just performance, accountability, not just a clever metaphor. Because here's the truth. Being misunderstood is real, yes, but it's not the same as refusing to take responsibility. And Cody, for all his claims about emotional transparency and being villainized, has yet to truly say, I failed them. Not they didn't understand me. Not they couldn't handle my truth. Just a simple, honest acknowledgement that love is more than declarations. It's action, it's presence, it's listening, even when the cameras aren't rolling. If Cody really wants to be the hero of this story, then it's not about capes or catchphrases. It's about owning the damage, repairing the trust, and maybe stepping out of the spotlight long enough to hear the pain he left behind. It